Hello and welcome to a windy but dry Anglesey, for the moment at least. Behind me you can see the cars for the BRSCC Toyo Tyres Porsche Championship waiting to go out for their race. Richard, it's over to you.
Thanks Rachel. Richard Avery starts on pole, Gary Lawrence alongside on row 2, Richard Styron and Kevin Molyneux, and the Boxsters completed with Nick Hull. John Broadley is on pole position for the 924s with Nizar El Chamar alongside, then Steve Potts and Adam Croft, Hugh Pett and Alistair Kirkham ahead of Linda Warren and Gavin Johnson, due to complete the grid, but Gavin having problems in testing, head gasket problems. Away we go, so he doesn't make the start. Good start from Richard Avery. The 924s get away in pursuit as well, and it's John Broadley that leads the 924s. You'll notice a couple of swapped cars, and we'll come to that in a minute because it's Richard Avery inside. Rick Styron's made a very good start indeed and is ahead of Gary Lawrence into second, then Nick Hull followed by Kevin Molyneux. Here we go with the 924s. Now the borrowed cars, Nizar El Chamar using Darren House's blue and orange car, and Alistair Kirkham using Carl Rossin's 41 car. So those regular viewers who would ID those cars, great to see Carl Rossin loaning out the car to Alistair Kirkham. Alistair, a long-term driver in this championship, and of course Nizar El Chamar second in the championship standings behind Linda Warren, and he's Darren House's car. So thanks to all those drivers that have done the loaning. And here's the view from Nick Hull, and we've got two returnees as well, Steve Potts and Adam Croft in the 924. So bags of interest this weekend. This is the view down into the corkscrew. In fact, coming out of the corkscrew now, a legendary piece of tarmac here at Anglesey. It's what many of the drivers come for, and it's Avery out front at the moment. We're looking at the third place car of Gary Lawrence through turn 1. Here's our camera position up at the banking, which is the 180 degree. It's a hairpin, not that tight as a hairpin, but on the inside line, having a look there was Rick Styron for the lead. Styron looking incredibly for a 50th career win in this championship. Unbelievably though, Richard Avery, this is round 11 of this year's championship. Richard Avery hasn't had a win so far, all of the races bar one being won by Avery. Here's the view from Hugh Pett in the 36 car looking at Nizar El Chamar. There's a little bit of dust and dirt across there. That's the Carl Rossin car. Alistair Kirkham across the track and collects Nizar El Chamar, and a glancing blow on Hugh Pett's car as well, and not what we wanted to see in the very early stages of this meeting. Some heavy hits in the 924, and of course that's a borrowed car as well. One feels desperately for Carl Rossin, whose car it is, and also for Alistair Kirkham. As I say, long-term driver Alistair Kirkham, who's borrowed Carl Rossin's car, and Carl seeing that's very badly damaged. We're very unlikely, I would say, to see that out for the remainder of our three races. Well, sadly we did lose Nizar El Chamar and Alistair Kirkham, both of the borrowed cars out due to damage. Uncharacteristic damage, I have to say, in this championship. But we're racing on the restart, and Richard Avery has got Richard Styron right by him. Styron a quick starter, but Gary Lawrence has made an absolute belter. Lawrence on the outside line in the black, blue and yellow car, and challenging for the lead on the outside of the banking. They go down towards Church. Styron's got the inside run to try and reclaim second position from the front row of the grid in this restart of round 11 of the championship. So it's Avery out front, Styron second, Lawrence third, Kevin Molyneux is in fourth place. Fifth position is Nick Hull in the Union flag livery. They're the Boxsters, and then we keep an eye out for the 924s. They're going up into the Rocket Complex for the first time on the restart. Avery, look how close Rick Styron is there. So close. I wonder he didn't touch the back bumper of Avery's car. We can't. Oh, the back end of Nick Hull's car wants to swap around, but Nick, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 1 managed to hold on to it. He's lost a wee bit of momentum, and you can see how those back-end bites just really take the momentum out of the car. And Nick Hull's got a fair amount of work to do now to try and claw his way back in. Hull, remember, is 5th in the championship stand. He's only 1 point behind Ed Hayes and Gary Lawrence. So effectively, Hull and Lawrence are dicing over that third position in the championship. Just a point between them. James Coleman is a further 2 points down. He's not racing with us this weekend. And here's the view from Hull on his recovery. He's caught Gary Lawrence very well indeed. Has a look at the inside line, very tight into the hairpin. You can see the raked curbs on the inside line. Kevin Molyneux kicks up a bit of dirt in third place. Nick Hull goes through and I think has grabbed a position down into Church. He's got the racing line here on the curbs. So Nick Hull up into 4th place. Gary Lawrence is now down in 5th. So this long run now, they sweep past the school circuit breakaway corner and then up into Rocket, and the back end again on Hull's car comes around. Gary Lawrence just missing him, so Hull fires it up, gets going again. Another recovery from Nick Hull, but he's not enjoying this time here. He's again still not lost too much time on Gary Lawrence. All this is very good news for Kevin Molyneux, who's chasing a first podium. Molyneux had best of 4th place. That was at Alton Pot, 2 5th positions at Castle Combe. And here's the lead for the 924s. The chaser is Steve Potts, the white 125. Bit of bodywork flapping on the front. Adam Croft is out front. Crofty with 127 career starts by my reckoning coming to this meeting. So this number 128. Steve Potts, of course, the former, indeed first, production Boxster champion in the Toyo Tyres Championship, and has had 6 career wins with us, several podia, and I think this is 39th career start. Adam Croft, the most experienced of the runners that we have on track at the moment, the man in the green car, the Fine Drinks cooperative backed machine. And having said that, I think that Alistair Kirkham has probably had more races, but Alistair's tenure in the championship goes back before my statistics start, so apologies to Alistair. We'll try and rectify that at some point, but Alistair's been around a long time in the championship and sadly out of the race, if not the meeting, as we continue to watch this great battle going on for the race lead in the 924s. Croft and Potts, both of whom returning to the championship. Good to see both of them out there and proving that they are very definitely not Porsche race rusty. Great race on for 3rd. Car 42, that's Linda Warren, championship leader, and she at the moment following Hugh Pett in the 36. Hugh himself 3rd in the championship, could well go 2nd here in the standings. He'll pick up, if he stays 3rd, pick up 21 points and will pass Nizar El Chamar in the points standings. Remember, there are drop scores to take into account as well. Adam Croft, defensive, going into the Rocket complex, and Steve Potts chasing him hard at the moment. Potts all over the back of him, so Croft still out front. The 2 returnees showing a good turn of speed here on Anglesey, and we'll see whether Croft can hang on and take another win. Coming downhill into the corkscrew, left-hander sets up for a very tight right, and all the time you're going downhill, and then you've got the last corner on the lap. It doesn't necessarily set up last corner finishes, but it is a mega piece of track to race on. Over the start-finish line, onto another lap. Croft from Potts. Pett running in 3rd place ahead of Linda Warren, still championship leader. Linda effectively with pressure off. Linda won't be worried about the 2 guys ahead of her, or 2 of the 3 guys ahead of her, championship-wise, because Croft and Potts just joining in for this weekend. As we said, round 11 of the championship. First of 3 races for you from Anglesey. And the 924s, which have been running, as we've told you before, since 1992, still providing some terrific action. It's a very cost-effective way of getting into Porsche racing. And you'll hear, I have no doubt, in the interviews throughout the programme, some banter, some great camaraderie that you get to go with probably the most cost-effective Porsche racing in the UK. And look at the great racing we have on track. And it's still Croft out front. Potts goes for a wide line here, might be able to have a look at the inside, but this is all about getting past before they get into the first part of the corkscrew, which Potts can't quite do, and Croft holds on to lead position. So Croft's still there. Hugh Pett running still in third place ahead of Linda Warren. John Broadley is picking up points as well. Broadley's going to move towards third position in the championship with this one. I don't think he'll take it in this one if he finishes, but he will edge closer to Nizar El Chamani. And Nizar, remember, had problems at Castle Combe, and hence the borrowed car this weekend. Let's hope he's going to be back out for Donington. That's at the last weekend in August, Donington Park. And if you are thinking about coming racing, come and meet the team, meet the guys involved in the championship, have a chat, and let's get you on the grid before the end of the season. You'll be made very welcome indeed. This, though, the battle for the overall race lead. Richard Avery from Rick Styrin coming again down through the corkscrew. Avery has held off Styrin so far in this restarted race through the last corner, and ready to go across the line. We've got the blue car of John Broadley there catching. Kevin Molyneux not that far away in yellow. He's in third place and heading for a first career podium in the championship. Molyneux only joined us at Rockingham, taking 7th position on his debut. He looks like he might be on for a podium, but this enthralling battle for the lead. Richard Avery looking for the first win of the year, up ahead of Rick Styrin, who is the multi-winner, who is chasing him hard. More for you after the break. Welcome back to Anglesey. You rejoin the battle for third position in the 924 class, and it's Hugh Pett who is the leader of that particular fight at the moment from Linda Warren, the championship leader. Hugh runs a little bit wide, kicks up some dirt. I don't think that's going to be a problem for him. Doesn't seem to lose any momentum, and Linda Warren, the championship leader, still chasing. Meanwhile, here's the battle for the lead, and Rick Styrin all over the back of Richard Avery. A man from Leighton Buzzard goes on to his last lap. Styrin closing up, trying to get as close as he can. That's John Broadley in blue, who's running 5th in the 924s. Here we come into the hairpin once again. Styrin well, he's caught him, but getting past is another matter. There are overtaking opportunities here, but these two have been so evenly matched throughout this opening race of the weekend. Down through Church, great view of the sea, although these guys will be very much focused on each other. Avery perhaps more so on the mirror, certainly, than Rick Styrin. They're coming up into the Rocket Complex for the last time. Big climb uphill. Avery gets defensive, rightly so. And how close are they coming through here? Surely that's contact there and you saw the car of Richard Avery just start to slew slightly. Rick Styrin backs out of that, but he is really going for the race lead here, but there's no room there on the inside line, and Richard Avery is going to continue to lead this battle down through the corkscrew, and barring any mistakes, you could still easily have the back end snap away at some point on the corkscrew, but Avery is well above that. Styrin goes wide. He's going to try and get through on the inside line, kicks up a bit of dirt on the last corner, makes the run for the flag, but it's Richard Avery who takes his first win of the year. Rick Styrin second, then Kevin Molyneux was not too far away either. In third place, Adam Croft on his return to the championship, the defending champion. We're not really defending the championship, the reigning champion. He could have defended, of course, but Adam Croft, either way, it's been a great win for Adam Croft, who comes through ahead of Steve Potts to win the 924s. Richard Avery's first win of the season. The man who is second in the championship takes the win. Richard Styrin second from Kevin Molyneux and Nick Hull. Gary Lawrence popped a hose in the race. He was a non-finisher. Fastest lap to Rick Styrin in the Boxsters. In the 924s, Adam Croft takes the win from Steve Potts and Hugh Pett. Then Linda Warren and John Broadley in 5th. Fastest lap to Adam Croft.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Richard, on first, knocking Rick off the top position for a change. You had a hard fight out there.
I certainly did. I mean, they don't call him the stick for nothing. You know, he's an awesome driver, and to beat Rick, obviously, he's the ultimate in our championship anyway. And today was my lucky day. You know, and it was a hard battle. Rick definitely kept me keen throughout the whole race. He was I'd actually got neck ache afterwards by looking in the mirrors all the time. You know, which way he was going to come at me. And then we had obviously the safety car. Restarted the race again, and then I'm on the front row, and I've got Rick sat next to me again. I'm thinking, oh no, knowing he has good starts. Anyway, we both had a good start. We got away. I managed to keep the edge on the first corner, and the rest of the time really we was just, I suppose he was trying to just chase me down, I suppose.
Rick, congratulations. You had another podium finish for you, but unusually a second. Is that the Anglesey track playing into things, or different factors?
I think it's just Rich drove ace yesterday. I gave him a best shot, tried to pass him left, right, round the outside, inside, and he soaked up so much pressure. So I'm going to try and do the same to him today, see what we can do.
Kevin, third place. How did you manage it with all that was going on out there and keeping it clean to come home in one piece?
No, it was good. Race one had a bad start, to be honest. Got stuck, missed a gear. So Nick managed to have a little sneak on me, and then we had a safety car. So we was lucky with the safety car. Had a great start. Gary was a bit poor on his start, to be honest. So had a little lunge through on him, and away we went. And then good win for Richard. Rick, great battle in front of me, but had a great race.
Adam, it's great to have you back here at Anglesey. We've been missing you this season, but back with a vengeance. Race win, congratulations.
Yeah, I guess the perfect comeback, really, isn't it? I've been missing it like crazy. Was always hoping to be able to get out to do 1 or 2 rounds this season. Obviously, the competition's pretty intense here with Linda, Pip, and Niz are fully on it. So I had no idea where I'd land. So to come back and take the win is pretty good.
Steve, you're guest driving with the championship this weekend, and first race out and on the podium. Congratulations on second. How does it feel to be back in the saddle?
Oh, it's perfect. It's really great race. Kept Adam Croft honest for the whole time. Obviously a bit of incident. Sad to see Alistair have a bit of bad luck, but really enjoyed the race. Perfect for me. Car was brilliant, and really enjoyed it.
Gavin, Anglesey always has its challenges, but a difficult day for you yesterday to even get out and race.
Yeah, we did a few laps in testing. Head gasket went, so it was all hands to the pump to try and get us ready for race one. We didn't quite make it, thanks to Fudge and Carl Rossi and my dad and David Sheekey for really putting everything into it to get us out, but they didn't manage it, so we missed race one. We start from the back for race 2 today, so we'll see how it goes.
So here's the grid. Richard Avery starting on pole, Rick Styron alongside, then Kevin Molyneux and Nick Hull. Gary Lawrence lines up in 5th. The 924s are headed by Adam Croft from Steve Potts, Hugh Pitt and Linda Warren on row 2. John Broadley, Gavin Johnson next. There are spaces on the grid for Nizar El Chamar and Alistair Kirkham. Sadly, after their damage in race number 1, they won't be taking any further part in the meeting. Round 12 of the Toyo Tyres Porsche Championship about to get underway on the island of Anglesey. 5-second board out, we're ready for the start. Richard Avery in green and white, Rick Styron in black and yellow. And away we go, it's a good start from Styron. Avery is alongside Rick Styron, seems to be better off the line and through the gears. He's got a long run round the outside at turn 1, but does it. Styron leads, Avery second, Gary Lawrence was in third, but Nick Hull's got up the inside line. Hull very quick indeed off the start. Kevin Molyneux back in 5th place at the moment, so the 5 Boxsters make a terrific start. Here's the view from Nick Hull, challenging for 2nd place at the moment. Hull about to make that climb up the hill and into the Rocket Complex. It's a good fast run up there. Rick Styron though getting away. Gary Lawrence looking to challenge for 3rd place on the inside line. Nothing doing there from Hull. Kevin Molyneux is attacking the 16 car. There are no easy drives here at all in amongst these boxes. You can see Gary with the yellow tank tape on his car, holding it all together at the moment, but it's Rick Styron starting to build an early lead here from Richard Avery. And as I mentioned in race number 1, Rick Styron looking for a 50th career win in this championship. This is his 77th start, so an incredible percentage. If there's another driver anywhere in the wobbly moment there on the rear end, really seeing the rear ends of the Boxsters biting here on Anglesey. It's a very, very windy day, very windy conditions, and the drivers working with what they've got. Wide line there from Nick Hull. Gary Lawrence wasn't quite near enough to capitalise on that, and he still stays back in 4th place. I was about to say about Rick Styron's career stats, if there's another driver in the UK with better stats than that, then I've not seen him. I was thinking back to when Dave Clark ran the championship, and there wasn't really as much competition in the Boxsters when Dave Clark won. 23 wins Clark took, 27 podia, 10 pole position, 17 fastest lap. Rick Styron has 42 fastest laps, 18 career poles. And here's the battle once again in the 924s. Adam Croft ahead of Stephen Potts. Croft having won race number 1. Linda Warren is in 3rd position, so Linda moving up. The other driver we need to watch out for, championship points wise, is of course John Broadley in the blue car there coming down the hill, and John potentially here could move into 3rd position. He's in 4th place at the moment, but he'll overtake Nizar El Chamar if he gets a decent finish in this race. So that's going to be all important as we head to Donington for the next round for him. There is 36, Hugh Pett chasing hard. We missed you racing at Castle Combe, but it's still Adam Croft out front. Steve Potts goes through, Linda Warren, then John Broadley in the 31 car. John, podium finisher, yet to have his first win in the championship, and this is John's 49th start, so assuming he gets through and survives this race, he'll be having a 50th career start in race 3 as we pick up on Gavin Johnson. A lot of work on Gavin's car, as you heard in the interview with Rachel, to get that car out and ready. This is Gavin's 6th start in the championship, sharing with Pip Hammond, and here's the view back from Linda Warren. Linda, in terms of championship points, actually drops the most points out of all the drivers, because she's not only been a consistent winning driver, having had 2 wins so far this year, but has had a lot of podium finishes, but as a result, through only having 1 non-finish, Richard Avery goes wide, trying to close down on Rick Styron. Just go back to Linda Warren. Basically, in this championship, 3 drop scores, your 3 worst scores. It enables you maybe to have a weekend off, or counters any bad luck, such as we saw in race number 1. But it also, with the likes of Linda Warren, hits her hard, because she's been consistently scoring good points throughout the year, and will drop 2 very good scores because she's only had 1 non-finish so far this year. Back though with the Boxster battle, Rick Styron out front. Look how much under braking Richard Avery closes up, and that gives you a very good view of what Rick Styron was trying to do in race number 1, and that shows you why or how the contact can happen. Coming down into the corkscrew, Avery 2nd position, Richard Styron the race leader. Will he hang on? Join us after the break to see. Gary Lawrence and Kevin Molyneux having a good old scrap here. This is for 3rd place in the Boxsters, round 12 of the Toyo Tyres BRSCC Porsche Championship. So Gary Lawrence on for a podium at the moment. Here's the view from Nick Hull. Nick, who like Gary, I think had either an out of position or jump start, may well suffer a time penalty, but Hull goes off onto the grass. Has something gone wrong with the car? The back end comes around onto the grass. He's just a passenger at this stage. Car stopped as he kept the motor running. Let's see whether Nick can rejoin. Takes a moment, gets his thoughts together, car in gear, and he's back on track. So here's Steve Potts Potts actually leading this one. What a weekend it's been for the returning drivers. Steve Potts it is that's out front. Adam Croft back in third place. John Broadley in second. John, incidentally, as we said earlier, looking for a first win. I don't think he's close enough to challenge Steve Potts in this one. And we now pick up on the Boxster battle out front. Rick Styrin could be on for win number 50, but Richard Avery taking a very wide line there and will hope to carry that extra speed down the inside. Has a quick look, flicks back. Well, I said that John Broadley wasn't close enough. He is now, and Steve Potts coming under pressure. Potts is going to have to go defensive up into Rocket. He pulls across, left-hander of the circuit. There's a little gap there, and if John Broadley wanted a lunge, he might have been able to do that, but of course he wants to take the car home in one piece and go to work on Monday morning. Back with the lead Boxsters, and it's Rick Styrin still there. The Leeds racer has only been beaten twice so far this year. If he can get into the corkscrew for the last time. But having said that, we've got 924s ahead, so the back markers normally won't cause a problem. They all know that the faster cars are trying to come through. Oh, the problem for Adam Croft, was there contact there or not? I don't know, but he spins, and Linda Warren is off the circuit as well in 42. There was me talking about Linda's drop scores. That will be another drop score for Linda as the checkered flag comes out, and Rick Styrin takes a 50th career win from Richard Avery. Third position is again going to go to Kevin Molyneux, but the 924 battle, heavily waved yellows there. There isn't going to be any passing on this last lap, and it's going to be Steve Potts who takes a win on his return to the championship. The former production Boxster champion comes through. John Broadley is second. Hugh Pett is going to come through in third place in the 924s, and his confirmation. Rick Styrin from Richard Avery. Kevin Molyneux is next from Gary Lawrence. Non-finish for Nick Hull. Fastest lap for Avery. Second place both times, fastest lap in the Boxsters. Nick Hull gives him a wave. Steve Potts wins the 924s from John Broadley and Hugh Pett. Then it's Adam Croft in fourth, Gavin Johnson in fifth, Linda Warren non-finishing.
1 and 2 for both of you, but switched round from yesterday's results. Richard, I'm going to start with you first. Second home today, but did I see a bit of a moment that went just not quite as planned out on the back straight there?
Yeah, I think there was probably one or two of those, wasn't there, Rick? I was just getting a bit keen, I suppose, in some of the corners. There was down the bottom hairpin, I had a little bit of the edge on Rick, but then as soon as I got there was nowhere to go, and we clanged up there. Top of the left-hander. It's so short between there, and Rick, to be fair, yesterday Rick was doing the same to me as what I was doing to him today, but not on purpose. Just that where you're trying to park it, you're just tapping them, and it's unfortunate. It's just like that.
Are you kissing bumpers then, by any chance?
We certainly was, yeah. My bumper's got a split lip at the minute, so.
Rick, over to you. Congratulations, back where you seem to feel as if you belong, up on top spot of the podium. How was it actually having Richard chasing your tail all through that race?
Well, everything that happened yesterday, Richard repaid the favour today, and I could see my neck sore from looking in the mirror. He was darting left, right, and what you're trying to do as the car in second is get a run and an overlap. And the guy in the lead knows that, so he's trying to park it. I think it's been some of the best two races this year, I would say.
I probably agree with you there, Rick, and we could definitely tell that you were driving a defensive race out there today, because Richard wasn't allowing you to get away.
No, I think we were completely evenly matched, so you're looking for one mistake, and Richard was trying to apply the pressure, so I did make a mistake. Luckily he didn't yesterday and I didn't today.
Well, we've got a triple header this weekend, guys, so it's 1-1 so far.
What could possibly go wrong in the next one?
Exactly.
I couldn't have put it better myself, except to wish you both the best of luck.
Thanks.
You've found your form out here, haven't you, this weekend?
Yeah, no, it's good. I've had a good weekend. Very tight circuit, but I've had a good weekend, yeah.
Not without its moments, though. Come on, you can't hide it. That was a beautiful pirouette on the start line. Penultimate lap, was it?
It was, yeah. But that was Gary. Gary just... He wasn't on the pace, to be honest. I was on him, but I couldn't get past. I could just not get past him. But I think, obviously, he's got a bad back, so I have to take my back off to him. So hopefully he does well next week in his line dancing competition, and we'll see how we get on.
Steve, well, I like to think perhaps a little bit of a crystal ball moment there before the race, and that we'd be talking later. But top spot, congratulations on first.
Oh, thanks very much. It was a terrific race, it really was. John Broadley kept me very honest all the way through. was quite lucky, I think, to pass Adam Croft. He made a slight mistake and I got round the outside of him. But it's a terrific race, really enjoyed it. Car was perfect, absolutely terrific. What a great race.
John, quite a weekend it's turning out for you again this weekend. Second home this time round, but not for want of trying out there.
Oh, God, I really enjoyed that, and I started fifth, got past the others, thought, right, there's Steve in my old car. So I thought, right, I've got to get past this guy, I really have to get past him. And I tried everything I could, but he was just in the way, not in the way, he just drove so defensive so well. And the one time I didn't think I got him, I just braked too late and lost it, and he got nipped back inside of me again. I'm
here in the Porsche garages with Hugh Pert, who's come home third in race 2 here at Anglesey this weekend. Missing a stroke at Castle Combe obviously hasn't done you any harm.
No, lots of energy. It's all pent up after Castle Combe, so it all came out today. So we've had a couple of brilliant races yesterday and today, 2 podiums. So really good.
Yes, it's turning out to be quite a weekend for you, and one that you are clearly sharing with your family here.
Yeah, I can't often have a family with me, but today we managed to get everybody here, and it makes all the difference to better see them as you're driving around waving. So it makes all the difference. Another half a second a lap, I reckon.
Do you get excited watching Dad, or are you worried about him when he's out there, or a bit of both?
At first I get a lot worried because of his car, but then when I see him on the track and he's doing really well, I feel happy for him and really proud.
And are either of you got expectations or hopes to follow in Dad's footsteps behind the wheel?
Yes. Yeah.
And what are you hoping to race when you grow up?
The faster ones, the Boxsters.
You
So,
want the Boxsters, don't you? Yeah.
are you looking forward to the day when you can go head to head with Dad then in the different classes?
Yeah. Well, I could do it this week because we're going go-karting together.
Oh, fantastic. Well, best of luck. You're going to have to tell us about that next time out at Donington.
Thank
We'll
you.
be there. We'll be there.
Good, we're looking forward to it, Hugh.
Cheers. Thank
I've just caught up with Nick Booth down here in the paddock before everybody goes home, because I want to know a little bit more about the rumours I've been hearing here in the paddock. Nick, you're a mechanic for the Team Force Motorsport team, but you're actually spannering your own classic bike, I understand, for some form of charity fundraising event.
Yes, this is true. 12th of August we will be leaving from my local town of Castleford. We will be travelling down to Harwich to catch the ferry, and then we'll be riding back to the old MZ factory in East Germany.
So it's an MZ bike, is it, that you have restored for this trip?
Yeah, just a little MZ 125, which it's taken about 5 years to do, gathering all the parts, and now we're putting it to good use. We're going to do some charity work.
And tell us a little bit about that charity that you're raising funds for, please.
Yeah, it's a hospice, local hospice, the Prince of Wales Hospice in Pontefract.
Right, and what is it that they do there? Is it care for?
It's palliative care, end-of-life, terminal.
So a very, very well-deserving cause. And what are your aims for the trip? Have you got a time frame in mind that you're hoping to do, or not?
Yeah, we're aiming for 3.5 days, but it's not a race. We just need to do complete the job. We can then obviously, it's for a good cause, and you complete the job and do it right.
So you're heading out on the 12th of August. So with a bit of luck and a following wind, that means you will be back spannering for the Porsche boys next time out at Donington at the end of the month. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, without a doubt.
Well, I'm going to look forward to catching up with you then and see how the trip went and how much money you raised.
Right. Thank you very much.
We wish Nick well with his endeavours. Now, thanks to Rachel for getting all the news down in the paddock. Gary Lawrence takes pole for this one, the reverse grid race. Kevin Molyneux alongside, then Richard Avery and Rick Steyer and Nick Hull should complete the grid if the car's running. Gavin Johnson pole in the 924 from Adam Croft. Then Hugh Pert and John Broadley, Steve Potts and Linda Warren will complete the 924 grid. Well, sadly, no Nick Hull out on grid. It's the end of the meeting for the chairman of the Porsche Racing Drivers Association, but the remainder are away. Good start by Gary Lawrence. Rick Styron up ahead of our onboard here. This is Richard Avery. He's back in 4th place at the moment. And look at Rick Styron monstering at the moment, following the lead car, Gary Lawrence. Lawrence the leader, Styron second, Kevin Molyneux up to 3rd after another podium. Great meeting for Molyneux, but Richard Avery looking down the inside line. Avery challenging for 3rd place and getting it. Molyneux down to 4th. Those 4 cars still together. Adam Croft is the race leader in the 924s, with John Broadley again in second position. So it's Croft and Broadley in the 924s as the Boxsters head up the hill into Rocket. Lawrence, the race leader. Styrin second. Richard Avery's going to have a look round the outside line, could get the run into Peel, but all it in fact does is leave the door open for Kevin Molyneux to try and come through. Molyneux's going to have a look into Peel. No, he doesn't. Takes a slightly wider line there and thinks about maybe having a nibble down the inside into the corkscrew. Richard Styrin on the outside line. Gary Lawrence maintains the lead. Styrin second. Third position is Richard Avery. Well, coming to the end of the opening lap of round 13 of the championship, and all four Boxsters still line astern. How close is this? You could throw the proverbial blanket over them as Styrin goes through on the inside. Rick Styrin takes the lead. Styrin through. Richard Avery's trying to follow through as well, but that's going to convert to the outside for the banking. So it's Styrin, Lawrence, Molyneux back up to third, ahead of Avery, who's going to repay the compliment now down the inside line. Avery back into third place here, and more for you after the break. Welcome back to Anglesey, last race of the weekend. Rick Styrin is away and down the road. Here is the scrap for second place. Richard Avery there at the moment. Gary Lawrence has a look up the inside line. Avery goes straight onto the grass. Avery's got to rejoin. His bumper's half hanging off, as you can see. That potentially a black and orange flag to get him to pit to get that removed, unless he can shake it off. So Avery down to fourth place. Gary Lawrence is third. Kevin Molyneux is second. So Avery continues his chase of Gary Lawrence. Kevin Molyneux getting away in second position here. Could be another career best for Molyneux, who's taken 2 third places so far at this meeting. Here's the view from Richard Avery. Gary Lawrence, his stablemate, immediately in front. Both guys from Leighton Buzzard. Across the line they go, through into turn 1. Lawrence still there in third. As you can see, we've got blue skies, but off goes the bumper. The bumper's gone. That was going to preclude a pit lane visit for Richard Avery. He's going to be pleased about that. So Avery now can just concentrate on the fight here for third position. I don't think it's going to be a fight for long, because he's through on the inside line, going through Church. Richard Avery up into third position. Remember, Avery second in the championship. Gary Lawrence, all the guys that have turned up this weekend that have had race finishes are going to be rewarded with some very good points. Just such a shame we had that 924 damage in race number 1 of the weekend. Both of the borrowed cars, not the story we wanted, but those guys will, I'm sure, fight back. There is Gary Lawrence, fourth position at the moment, heavily taped up car, as you can see. So Lawrence chasing Avery, trying to close down on Kevin Molyneux, who's in second. There's the yellow car in second place. The gap is beginning to come down. Richard Avery chipping away. Avery, you've got to say, with Styrin completely down the road at the moment, he's not going to add to his solitary win tally for this year. But of course, what might be possible is second position. So Molyneux second, Avery in green and white is third, Gary Lawrence in fourth position. So Richard Avery, he's clocking in some very good lap times at the moment. Rick Styrin still with the fastest lap of this one, the first flying lap, lap 2, 1 minute 18.833, averaging 70.78 miles per hour. And these positions looking relatively settled at the moment. There is the race leader, Rick Styrin, who's already into lapping territory of the 924s. So Styrin will extend the championship lead here, comes down through the corkscrew. Up ahead of Gavin Johnson. So there is Styrin. Can't even see the chasers behind in shot at the moment. That's the lead that Rick Styrin's got. Gavin Johnson goes through. Here's Adam Croft, who is leading the 924s at the moment. The Fine Drinks cooperative car looking to make it a double. 2 out of 3 wins here if Crofty can get it home to the checkered flag, and he's got a pretty good lead of things at the moment. Again, we can't see challengers at the back of shot. Instead, we get the front-facing view. Look at the view here at Anglesey, superb circuit. Now down into the corkscrew, turn left, then we turn to the right, and it just continues downhill, then into the levels out into the last corner on the lap. So he'll tick off another lap along the main straight here. Any pit signals for Crofty? Can't see any, so he'll go through turn 1, continue on his way. Gavin Johnson pulls clear, pulls aside for Richard Avery to go through. Avery now up into second place, having caught and passed Kevin Molyneux. So Molyneux still in a podium position, third place. Gary Lawrence again not far behind in fourth, and will be picking up some points still for that fourth place. And those three cars still very much together. Rick Styrie may be away down the road, but it's been close for the other Boxsters. We've seen Richard Avery, of course, so evenly matched for Rick Styrie in races 1 and 2. But I guess this one not to be his, particularly after that damage as well. Ticks off another lap. So we're looking at the goes past his bumper, which is still there, which no doubt he'll collect after the race. So Avery from Kevin Molyneux's looking for another third place here. So Molyneux with a try. Oh, that's Rick Styrie. Styrie's got a problem. He's going very slow indeed. And Styrie, well, he's still running, but very, very slowly indeed. Rick Styrie is down to fourth place. Now, what sort of problem that is, we don't know. But Richard Avery retakes the lead big time. We can only speculate on what the problem is for Rick Styrie, but Richard Avery takes the lead. There was me effectively writing off Avery. Well, do so at your peril. You never know what's going to happen. Avery the leader. Now Gary Lawrence goes up to second. Lawrence from fourth. He's up into second place. Kevin Molyneux still on the podium in third. Well, a dramatic weekend here on Anglesey for the Toyo Tyres Porsche Championship, and it looks like it's going to be 2 out of 3 wins for Richard Avery, and I say that with caution because look what happened to the man that was leading. He's still got the fastest lap of the race. Rick Styrie in fourth position and touring round, seems to be nursing the car, but it's Richard Avery on the last lap, under 1.5 miles to go. Goes out of the banking for the last time. Looking at the back end, of course, some damage inflicted across the field at this meeting. Sadly, not the norm by any stretch of the imagination for the championship. And neither this year has been 2 wins for Richard Avery. So Avery looking to make it 2 out of 3. He'll climb his way up the hill. Still Adam Croft incidentally leading the 924s. So it's going to be a win apiece. 2 wins apiece for Croft and Avery, assuming they both get there. Richard Avery looking good at the moment. He's got a 2.5 seconds over Gary Lawrence, maybe a tad more on this final lap. So Gary Lawrence is going to take a second position. It's going to be Gary's best finish of the year. Again, I'm shocked at that. I thought he's had podia, but not a second place. So it's going to be good to see Gary Lawrence up in second position in this race as Richard Avery comes down through the corkscrew for the last time through the final turn, and we'll see the checkered flag which is being unfurled now. There it is, win number 2 of the weekend for Richard Avery. Gary Lawrence only 1.9 seconds behind at the flag. Kevin Molyneux takes third place, and in the 924s Adam Croft is a clear leader. Crofty's going to make it another win, an 18th career win for Adam Croft, 34th podium through the final turn. There's the checker for Adam Croft, who I think has enjoyed his return to the championship. We've certainly enjoyed seeing him race this weekend. Richard Avery takes the win from Gary Lawrence. Kevin Molyneux in third. Richard Styrie did get to the finish. He finishes fourth and grabs the fastest lap as well. And 2 out of 3 in the 924s for Adam Croft. Steve Potts takes second place from Hugh Pett. Then it was Linda Warren in fourth and Gavin Johnson in fifth. Fastest lap to Steve Potts.
Adam saving the best till last. first place final race of the weekend.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I bookended the weekend with a win, first race win in the final race. Things didn't quite go to plan in the second race, but that's all part of the game, isn't it? So overall,
that's racing, as they say.
It is, yeah. And overall, as a comeback weekend, I think I can be pretty happy with it, to be honest.
Steve, congratulations on second this time round. Actually, your third podium of the weekend.
Spicy race, that one. It was second, I think, is a good result. There's a little bit of damage on my car, but I think it was 50-50 in the couple of bumps I had. But no, I've had a great time. It's a great circuit. It demands respect. I mean, it's a pretty quick circuit, but yeah, I mean, I've been on the podium in all three races. What's not to like?
Hugh, I know you had family commitments to Miss Castle Combe, but you have been making up for it back here at Anglesey this weekend.
It's been a brilliant weekend, perfect setting, perfect weather, car went brilliantly, just needed a bit more oomph for me, but 3 podiums is brilliant, really, really pleased. And I've had my family with me all weekend, so it's been absolutely perfect.
Richard, congratulations, another first. You must be loving it here at Anglesey this weekend.
Yeah, I am. It's shame about this, not so many on the grid, but yeah, it was a good battle for it. It was hard work keeping off Gary after I got past him. Then I had a little teammate love tap on the back of my bumper, which took it off.
To go with the one on the front earlier?
Yeah, to go with the one on the front earlier. But yeah, it was good. It was a good hard battle. I enjoyed it. It was good racing. Shame Rick didn't finish the race to give us some bit of competition at the front. But never mind. He's going to go light now for the next round.
Gary, that felt like a very defensive race. You were certainly driving a very wide car, but just not enough miles in the race for you to keep Kevin at bay?
Well, we kept Kevin at bay. It was Richard, but yeah, no, I just wasn't wide enough. No, they drove really well. No, I was really pleased for Richard. Yeah, we had a little coming together because as we came up the hill, he managed to get in front of me. And he didn't realise I would need to stop, so and I struggled, so to be fair I used him and that helped. That pushed us both off, but no, it's an eventful race. No, it's really good. We've had a really difficult weekend, to be honest, and the guys now at Garage, not just with me but with Nick as well. Yeah, Lee, Nick, Paul, the guys from TF, they really had to work hard. We gave them a lot of work to do this weekend, but as usual they came through.
Kevin, unless you did it out of my sight, no pirouettes this time round, and brought it home for a hat-trick of thirds. Congratulations.
No, thank you. Yeah, no, I didn't have a spin in that time, but we had a good battle. It was a very good battle between us, to be honest. Shame Rick lost it, but Rick pulled over, so we was away, and I had pole at 1. I was on the first. I was thinking, come on, and then my tyres had gone, so.
Anglesey has provided us with yet another stunning weekend's racing from the BRSCC Toyo Tyres Porsche Championship. I am so glad I made the trip up here. The track is absolutely stunning, and it has provided us with some nail-biting racing action out on track. You make sure you tune in next time to join us for the action from Donington.